lo and behold, this same company actually made another game system. This one is actually called the Game Station Retro, which is, of course, made by the MyArcade company. Now, what this thing is basically, well, it's a plug-and-play system, which can plug straight into your TV via AV outputs and USB, no need for batteries. Well, except for the ping pong racket. Oh yeah, there's also a ping pong game in there which takes advantage of that ping pong racket, but I have looked, and turns out there's only one game that utilizes this thing. Other than that, it's just pretty much useless. So yeah, this one contains 2 controllers, where the main controller is the main system, and the second controller is for player 2. So yeah, this time it has 300 built-in games. $30 can get you 300 built-in games. Weird. And yes, this was sold at the same dollar store, by the same company. Looks like it might have the same games, so let's just go ahead and take it out of the box. Let's just get on with it. It's really hard to do this one-handed. Hang on. There we go. And there's the system itself, which, oh yeah, don't confuse that for a joystick or anything. That's actually the select button. There's a start, reset. That thing actually lets you know what it's on. There's a D-pad, which I admit it's actually quite easy on the fingers compared to the other system. Like, the other system had a pretty stiff control pad, and this one's actually quite comfortable. And this time it actually has A and B buttons as well as turbo buttons. Alright, and there's a slot for the second controller, which is powered by USB. And if you wanted to, you can also power this with batteries. But I'd rather just use the USB, being honest. And there's a second controller, which looks a bit simplified compared to that one. And the tennis racket, which I'm not even going to bother to use. It's just shake the tennis racket in order to hit the ball. And when you think about it, it might be just an alternative way of pressing A at a certain extent. So yeah. And there's a user's guide, which is just like the other one, where it has something about troubleshooting and registering your device, while everything else is just the same thing but in different languages. Anyway, let's get this thing hooked up to the TV and let's see what we got. Alright, now that I got this sucker hooked up to the TV, let's turn it on and see what games we got. Let me turn it up real quick. If I can find the remote. Ah, the remote is right there. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. What the heck? Whenever I go to turn up the volume with the remote, it's just selects through a list of games. It thinks I'm pressing a button or something. That's weird. Huh. Oh well. Let's just go ahead and start playing some games. Alright, we got table tennis, which seems to be the only game that utilizes the ping pong thing. And then there's Tank A 1990, which is a lie. It's really just a Tank L 1990. Now, if you guys remember, the previous system had a bunch of modified NES games or whatever. This system actually has the same thing. Now this is one of those tank games for the Famicom or whatever. But in this case, they didn't even do anything different. They just went ahead and stole it. So yeah, you basically have to shoot everyone while protecting this artifact that's at the bottom of the screen. And I'm dead. Kong. Whoa, the title screen just glitched. Okay, so what you're doing, you're The monkey looks too small to be Kong, unless it's not King Kong. It doesn't even look like he's holding onto the rope. Ah, I fell in the tar pit. Yeah, apparently you're supposed to save your friends. But I'm not even going to bother. They deserve to be captured. Champion Boat. I've never actually played this one. Let's see what this is about. It's a hard-to-control racing game. I will admit, the graphics on this game are pretty good. It almost looks like a Super Nintendo game. Oh, I think I figured out the controls. Controls like utter crap. Enchanter. Pentagrams. Just a bunch of pentagrams. Oops. It's just like that one other game that's on that other system, only this time you're using the pentagrams to hurt enemies. I forget what the game is called. Alone. Except he's not alone, because there are a bunch of enemies trying to kill him. Anyway. Craps. There is a game on here called Craps. I'm assuming that's an actual game or something, but it's just so funny. It says crap. Like, I'm gonna go take a craps after playing this game. There's Defier, there's Deformable. Hey, Galligant. It's the same music from last time. Similar game, too. Hamburger. Which, surprisingly, isn't a Burger Time clone. You're just making hamburgers out of just random things. Or random things that it lets you carry to it. That's gotta be one heck of a hamburger. Anyway. Jig Chick. It's actually just a... It's actually a Q*bert clone. Merry Christmas. Knock It. It's just another form of whack-a-mole. Octopus. Okay, guys. Answer me this. Who does that look like? Who does that look like? Still don't know? It's frickin' Ariel from Little Mermaid. Okay, this looks like a reskin version of Brave Boy from that plug-and-play system that JonTron reviewed. It plays exactly the same, too. Yeah. Even I'm not a brave enough boy for this. And besides, the character looks nothing like Ariel. Alright. Team Star. That's actually a clone of Brother Ball. Falling Crystal. Ghost Palace Girl. It has an anime girl. Wait a minute, this is way out from the Pro Games player that JonTron reviewed. Knocking. Ah yes, it's another form of Hitmouse, or a reskin version of the same game, which is yet again another form of whack-a-mole. I'm out of here. What's with the fetish of all these whack-a-mole games? Run 100-meter hurdles. Howling Killer. Hey, does this look familiar? In case it's hard to tell, this game is obviously made by the same company who makes those bootleg Lion King games for the NES, like Lion King 3, and perhaps most infamously, Lion King 5. Now, before anyone starts asking, I'm going to go ahead and answer that right now. Yes, it has that game over screen in it. Which is very concerning, because if it's going to be sold at a dollar store, the one that I go to, obviously parents are going to want to buy this for their kids. So yeah, the kids are going to be able to experience Simba hanging himself. Oh, it's the end of the world. Anyway, let's not think about it and just go to the next games. Oh yeah, you guys remember these? Oh, Magic Joni, that's the game that other game was a clone of. Yeah, you guys recognize these games from that other system? They got X Racing, which is a Zippy Race clone. Tactful Moki, which is a Load Runner clone. Season Garden. It's yet another form of whack-a-mole. Oh, they got Hitmouse on here too. It's funny because earlier in the list of games there was a reskin version of Hitmouse, and yet they had the original game here. Of course, it's whack-a-mole. Not only do they got Hitmouse, but they also got Hitting Mices. So, what this game is, you just play as this gorilla and toss these rocks on the mouse's head. Make sure they don't get in the holes. I mean, I don't get what this gorilla's problem with the mouse getting in those holes. What if they're just hibernating for the winter? Crap, I missed. Well, other than all the things that I showed you guys, there's really nothing to say, not much to say about this thing. It's just like that other system, only with more games. Oh. So yeah, would I recommend this? Well, only if you're really curious. Alright guys, this is NightStreak235, signing out. Right after I got done recording, I was rewatching my video to see how it's like before I put it on the internet, and you're not going to believe this, but when I leave the system alone for a bit, the cursor actually moves itself. I mean, I'm not kidding, I'm not even pressing any button on the controller. Look, see? It just moved by itself. This is really creepy. I wonder if this thing is possessed.